was diagnosed in 1946. I was 14. The doctor sat me down and he said, "You have diabetes." And he told me all the things that I was going to be faced with doing every day. It scared me to death. It's difficult sometimes for people to accept the fact that they are diabetic. You've got to have this condition on your mind quite continually. It's difficult to do that. My daughter was diagnosed at the age of 5. I blamed myself. I said I caused her to have diabetes. We always are shocked by these things happening to a child particularly, whether it's our own or whether it's another family. I have a compassion for parents that are faced with diabetes. I need to support those families as much as I can. I think once we meet Grant's family and get to talk with them, I think there's some things that we can tell them. It will make their minds easier.
Hey, Grant, we need to do a site change, okay? Thanks for helping, Grant. Appreciate it. What's that dinosaur called again? Do you remember?
A triceratops.
A triceratops? Oh, that's awesome. Grant was just over 2.5 years old when he was diagnosed. I knew that it was scary and that it was bad and that this was chronic. I didn't know that that meant being scared every minute. We are doing things every day, all day long, to try and make sure that his numbers stay within a certain range. Okay, you're gonna do that part?
Yeah, and you do that part, so push that down, then push that down.
Okay, ready? He wears 2 devices physically on his body. Thank you. The continuous glucose monitor checks his blood sugar every 5 minutes. Good job. And that information gets sent to our watches so that I can see his number wherever I go. He's on an insulin pump as well, so at all times, 24/7, he is on these devices. We rely on them. They help keep him alive. Do we get it right? No. Every day we have highs, every day we have lows. And the volatility of his blood sugar is wreaking havoc on his organs. I worry about his kidneys and I worry about his eyesight. The biggest scare is that I go into his room at night and he's low and I can't wake him up. You give a little bit extra too much insulin. He doesn't eat his last strawberry. And without sugar in his blood, his heart can stop beating. We've never spent a night away from Grant since he was diagnosed 2 years ago. And we have alarms that wake us up every night at 2 and 4 a.m. Those are the times I think are the scariest, is when you realize that something bad, really bad could have happened. His body needs me to be a super mom. It needs me to be human pancreas every day of my life. And that is terrifying. Hi, I'm Wellesley.
Hi, Wellesley.
Leon, it's nice to meet you. Grant, can you give Leon his
You
present?
have a surprise for me? Huh? What is it? What do you think it is?
Don't tell him. It's a surprise, right?
I have to guess?
It's a cape.
It looks like a super cape, doesn't it? Well, come here and show me how to do this. Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Good.
Now, what am I? Am I a super Grant now?
No, you're a super Leon.
All right, I'm a super Leon.
that's
How about
right.
that? When I was diagnosed, I really didn't have any tools to work with. None. It was a pure guessing game in those days.
Yeah.
Terrible way to have to live.
I do say, though, even though we have a ton more information, it still is a guessing game. You know, it's still one number at a time, and And it's always a continuous, like, learning, forgiving yourself, forgiving diabetes, forgiving.
I think diabetes brings out some new qualities in a person.
I think so
that
too.
you didn't realize were there.
I think so too. It's a really good way of putting it.
And in the parents too.
That's true. So true.
Yeah.
You know, in addition to accepting
Yeah.
the fact that you have diabetes, the second part is teaching a child how to make choices. And it appears that he's already getting there.
Yeah. It does feel like it's part of his education. It's part of his learning his own body, which most 4-year-olds have no idea.
Well, he's learning a lot right now, and that's very positive.
Yeah.
Because they've got to make sure they know that they are in charge of their diabetes.
Yep.
And mother and dad are not always going to be there and around them, you know, to make that choice for them. And that is very important.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes that actually brings me to a dark spot, you know, it's just, he's started asking questions of like, why did God give me type 1 diabetes? And when is God going to take this away? I think he's just starting to realize that, you know what, there is something special about me. I'm trying to focus it on this special versus different. And we just try and tell him that we get to meet great people. And we're a team and we're all in it together.
That's right. If anybody ever told me that I would not have a good life, I would tell them that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Because it has been a good life. I think I've led a normal life.
Yeah.
At least I've felt normal, and that's what's important, that you do feel normal.
Grant is a strong-willed, independent kid. He always has been. He is never afraid to do anything. I just want to never let him think that type 1 diabetes is going to stop any of that. The future is full of promise. The next thing on the horizon is the artificial pancreas. It takes the device of the continuous glucose monitor and connects it with his insulin pump to keep him within a normal range.
Is that a sensor?
Yeah, it's a sensor.
What we're really looking forward to the most is beta cell encapsulation. That will give him the ability to live a life without lows, without highs, as if he's not a type 1 diabetic.
Okay.
When I do that, it comes out.
Yeah.
What we're working with today is so much better than what I had to work with. And I do know that JDRF played a role in every one of these new technologies that I've heard of.
The merchant tied his horse to the gate.
JDRF is working with researchers to make sure that funds will be used properly and on the best projects on the docket today. But we need to keep our foot on the gas. Grant's family, he should expect something better down the road. And hopefully, one of these days, he can sit down and say, I had diabetes. I think we can truthfully say that the best is yet to come.